Yeah.
Hey, what's up everybody? It's your girl Amanda, the Buzzed Artist. Welcome back to my channel, a place where you can let loose and just have fun with your art. So today, we're going to talk about a really important subject, and that is finding your motivation as an artist. And super quick before we dive in, I wanted to talk about what we are drawing and painting today. This painting is based on a royalty-free picture that I found on Pexels.com, and this model's face really intrigued me, and I wanted to try my hand at transforming her into a work of pop art. And something I wanted to share with you, if you really love my pop art and want to learn how to create your very own, be sure to check out my online course, Turn Any Image into Pop Art. This 6-day mini course series walks you step by step through my entire process for breaking down an image, capturing likeness, and other techniques that I have used for turning any image into a gorgeous work of pop art that you can be proud of. And the best part, this course is free for all of my subscribers here on YouTube. So the link to check out the course and enroll is in the description below, so be sure to check it out. With that being said, let's dive into finding motivation. You're sitting there, staring at a blank canvas, pencil in hand, and have literally no clue what to do. You've been sitting there for what seems like hours, seeing all your precious time and patience slowly wasting away. And it seems the more you sit there, the more unmotivated you become to make anything. And you think to yourself, this is stupid. Why am I even doing this? I'm not an artist. I don't even care enough to draw a stick figure right now, let alone a landscape. Okay, besides the Shakespearean-like meltdown there, you probably felt completely uninspired or demotivated to create artwork, at least once in your life. In fact, you might be feeling that right now. And I'm here to tell you that those feelings are completely normal. Yep, at every point in an artist's journey, they will sometimes have the lustful dance with the inspiration muse, and other times are desperately searching for that spark. And I want to address that desperate search head on with you. Remember when we were kids and the world was so full of possibility? We jumped, we climbed, we laughed, made instant friends, and basically dove into the things that we loved because, well, we were super curious and wanted to learn more. Nothing was off the table in our kid minds, and we fearlessly jumped in. And that really is the major difference between kids and adults. A big reason why we feel we can't be creative or find ourselves stuck behind an empty canvas for hours has mainly to do with our fear of failure. We want things to look perfect and it be an instant masterpiece. But the truth is that perspective is totally unrealistic and definitely not a part of the creative process at all. Many artists, even the big names, took years and years of just practice to get good at what they do. So, with that being said, how can you get yourself motivated to create art? Well, my first tip is to identify your why for painting. Why the hell are you even making art? Does it help you process emotions? Is it an avenue for income? Does it help you relax? Understanding your why for putting all that time and effort into your art is a huge portion of what drives you to keep going, even in the times when all you want to do is die on your couch and watch The Sopranos. And yeah, I'm speaking from personal experience. When thinking about your why, really dig deep. Everyone has a different reason for doing what they do, and it's always from an emotional place. In fact, my tip for you is to keep asking yourself why 5 times until you really hit a deep human need on why it is that you create art. For example, I create art because it helps me process my emotions and check back in with myself. I also create art so that I can support my family and be a good role model of mental health. Notice I didn't say because I want to make money or because I like it. Nah, I'm telling you, cut the fluffy professional shit and go straight for the emotional triggers. My second tip is to create a safe art space. Once you've identified your why and appropriately lit a fire under your butt, it's time to create an environment that will foster your creativity. Our home has a second bedroom which we double as an office studio. Here I have a desk and paint supplies at the ready for my next art adventure. Notice how I didn't say I assemble my workspace every time I want to paint. We as humans have a lazy streak in all of us. If something requires even the slightest amount of work or setup, that is sure to be an inspiration buzzkill. So find a small space in your house and set it up to be your creative art area. Keep your supplies in plain view and eliminate any chore associated with this activity that is not directly painting or creating. And you can see how I arrange my own art studio using the Marie Kondo method, making sure to keep all your art and craft supplies readily available so that I can quickly jump in and create artwork, and you can see that in the description below. So once you get a setup that you like, get comfy, light some candles, play some music, or even watch your favorite shows while you create. Creativity occurs when we are relaxed, secure, and feeling ready to explore. So sit in a comfy chair, wear your favorite cardigan, or make some tea to get your creative mood going. Even though there are times when I don't feel inspired, the very act of getting my art mood on really eases me into the creative process. Tip number 3, give yourself a schedule. Time. The one thing we as adults do not have the luxury of enjoying, or at least that's what we like to believe. True, life is crazy and our schedules can and will get busy with meetings, appointments, family obligations, mowing the lawn, cooking the dinner, cleaning the house. But amid all that chaos, we scream to the world and all who want to hear us that we don't have time to make art. How can I even be creative if I can't even sit my butt down to create? And here's what I have to say about that. Girl, if art is an important part of your life, you will make the time to participate in it. So, set aside 5 to 10 minutes a day to draw or make art, and make that every single day and stick to it. Even if you don't know what to draw, just sit your butt down and draw some lines. Like I mentioned before, we as humans are creatures of habit, and art is definitely no exception here. The more you train your brain and your muscles to respond to art as an integral part of your day, you will find yourself creating and becoming more creative in the process. So it's kind of like a fake it till you make it kind of trickery. And once you form this habit of 5 to 10 minutes every day, eventually graduate to 1 hour per day. Many artists have reported feeling much more confident with their work and feeling proud of the progression of their work. And the more that you can get yourself amped up about your art, believe me, the more that motivation and inspiration will flow through you. Tip number 4, make smaller goals with zero expectations. So you're in your safe space, you've made the time to sit down to make art, and as you're sitting there, you have no idea what to do. This is actually a very common problem among artists, and some would lovingly term it as artist block. This usually occurs when the fear of failure mixes in with the high expectations we place on ourselves on what our work needs to be. If you've ever started with a blank canvas before and could not get yourself to start, you are a victim of it's gotta be perfect-itis. Sometimes it's seeing a big canvas that immediately overwhelms us and sends our creativity packing for vacation. So, start small and take the pressure off yourself. For example, instead of using a 48 by 36 inch canvas that you spent a pretty penny on, start with a small piece of mixed media paper and go from there. Or, instead of drawing a whole face, maybe start by drawing eyes first, noses, or lips. My point is, start small, yo. And this kind of goes back to the old adage of, how do you need an elephant? One bite at a time. Slow and steady. Tiny little goals are always the best option for you. So give yourself that grace to experiment and to play. And you know what they say, when play comes creativity. Now tip number 5, just take a break. Now, of course, we sometimes can experience that wonderful feeling of burnout. No matter what we do, we just can't even with our art. And if you keep pushing with those negative emotions, you'll find yourself stuck and constantly frustrated, leading you to bottom out and negatively associate your art with having a bad time. This is a high time and signal for you and your mind to take a nice, much-needed break. Because taking our minds off something we are struggling or working on and focusing on other things actually allows your mind to process and help you see the bigger picture. If you're feeling tired or stuck in a rut with your creative process, take a week off and do something different. If you've never made clay pottery, go take a class and play. If you've never tried gardening before, go outside and start getting your hands dirty. Letting go of the constant inner critic allows for experimentation and play, which is why we started making stuff in the first place. It's something we often forget as super serious adults. Tip number 6, shift the perspective. Now, when I was a paint night instructor, a lot of the women I helped didn't so much need help with their technique as much as they needed an attitude adjustment. Many beginners feel that they need to create an instant masterpiece and they cannot fail in doing so. Like, if they even made a small mistake, it meant that they were stupid, clumsy, dumb nincompoops who had no business being an artist. This mindset is not only silly, it's downright dangerous to creative spirit. The creative process is about the process, not the end result. We need to hammer this in our minds. Do not cut yourself short by placing this big ultimatum on your creative spirit. Make this look good or else you're not qualified to be an artist. Don't you dare disappoint me, despite the fact I haven't really done this before, but I expect utter perfection. Jesus, if we spoke to other people like that, they definitely would have some choice words for us. So why are you allowing yourself to listen to your inner perfectionist and succumb to that fear? Instead, when you create, know that failing or not knowing what to do right away is okay. It's not the end of the world, and it most certainly isn't the reason to end your young art career. See every line you make as a step in the right direction, a stepping stone towards learning more about your skills, your abilities, your strengths, and your weaknesses. Basically, this is me saying, just freaking go. Start. Do something. Plus, the hardest part of getting started is literally getting started. The brain cannot work and improve when all it sees is a blank piece of paper. So you gotta be okay with just starting. Paint, draw, whatever. Because the more you play, the more your brain can enter into its creative place and begin to improve. And my final tip, look at art you admire. If you have ever gone to a cute shop, an art gallery, or even on Pinterest and found yourself fired up, you have been kissed by the ever-powerful muse of inspiration. When we are in the creation process, we sometimes may need ideas, and there's literally nothing wrong with checking out your favorite artist, local shop, or museum and taking in the beauty of their work. Now, I do want to stress that you should take this opportunity to soak, not compare your abilities with others. This is very important. Comparison is the thief of joy. And let me tell you that comparing your journey to someone else who is on a completely different journey than you, with different experiences under their belt and skills, is not a logical way to assess your skills. It really is like comparing apples to oranges. You are not better or worse than anyone else. You are your own artist with your own experiences and stories to tell. You are enough, and people want to hear your story with your art. Don't limit yourself or force yourself to be somebody you're not. Trust me. People can smell that a mile away. So, with all my tips, and with every sort of driving factor towards finding motivation, creativity does take work. We can't always rely on the muse of inspiration and motivation to keep us fired up. There is a sort of work ethic that goes behind it, and by making those habits very, very integral to your life, you will find that motivation and creativity will come along with it. So if you want to grow as an artist, you gotta put in the practice and the work, simple as that. However, I hope that these tips that I shared with you are just ways that you can ease your creative spirit and set you up for success in your artistic journey. So what did you think of my tips? What ways do you spark your creativity to get your juices flowing? Comment and share below. I always love to hear from you all, my darling, gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful queen bees. So that's the end of my video. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to give this video a like and to subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button, you know what to do, so that you can see more fun story times and art related content from me to you in the future. Okay, my darling queen bees, remember, love yourselves and always have fun with your art. See you all next time. Bye.